Hello everyone, back for another video on my channel. Just before the video starts, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please hit the subscribe button. And as well as that, if you like the video, give us a thumbs up as well. And you know now on YouTube there's a bell button. If you hit the bell button on the channel, every time we post new videos on the channel, you'll get notifications of the new video being posted on the channel. So never missing out on any of our new material. Gareth, thank you for letting us come and film with you. Today, everybody, if you can see behind me, we're looking at the provision drill of Gareth Watkins. If you can explain a bit about the drill and a bit how it works as well, Gareth, it'd be fantastic.
Oh, afternoon Mark, afternoon farming year. So yeah, today we're drilling sugar beet. This is our Vardostat Tempo drill. We've had this is the third season that we've been using this drill. Really pleased with this drill. From when we used to have a lot of beet, we had multiple 12-row drills. As the beet factories closed, we dropped down, but beet has taken a bit of a resurgence, so we've looked to reinvest again. Really pleased with this. An expensive drill. Vardostat tends to be expensive kit, but I think worth it. So first thing to look at, just to show that we are on beet today, inside these hoppers is where all the seed is stored. So you can see that the blue seeds, which is the seed dressing on top of the beet, it's got to be graded seed to fit in the seed. So that graded means that it's all exactly the same size. So that's what we got in here. If you can just see in the top of the lid, there's a rubber seal all the way around the edge of that lid. That's to create a vacuum inside, because you need that to be able to pull the seeds down, and it helps with keeping the air pressure for shooting the seeds down into the ground. So that's inside the seed hopper. We're not using it today, but on behind the seed hopper, these are the microgranular applicators. Microgranular, not quite as popular as it was, but we still have quite a demand for maize. So on the back of there, no air pressure in here, but you can see we were drilling maize yesterday. That's primary P, that fertilizer that's in there, so microgranular fert, that we can do at variable rates. So that's what we've got on the back of these. We have drilled oilseed rape with this drill in the autumn, and then in these hoppers we've then put slug pellets, but rather than putting them into the ground, we've let the slug pellets just trickle straight onto the surface. So those are the two hoppers that we've got on, big one for seed and the smaller one for microgranular. We move down underneath here, various items to talk about. So there's just very quickly the microgranular. This is it's very quick and easy to change. There's a little motor system in here, which you just pull the motor out and then you can take the wheel out, change the settings. It's a nice, easy operation. So we start at the back. These are the V press wheels to firm the seed back into the ground. There's the lever at the back here, which is to alter that pressure. Moving forward from there, this lever is to alter the seed depth that you're drilling at. So we obviously drill maize deeper than we're drilling sugar beet. When we were drilling rape, we drilled it really light as well. So that's how that depth's altered. And the two press wheels work against each other. So if a stone picks one side up, then the others will level out. They both work together, both on both sides. The small wheel in between is the press wheel. So this wheel here, and as you can see, if I push it, it's actually a soft wheel from the side. But if you could push down vertically, it's got real great pressure. So we can't, if we lifted the hopper up, but I'm sure that you can imagine, you can see here, this is the start of the pipe that feeds the seed down to the ground. And it lands at the ground in between these discs, right at the bottom of that press wheel. So as the seed is shot down, the press wheel firms it into the ground, and then the V wheels at the back are then firming the soil around. So the business part of the drill is inside here. We like this drill because it's quite nice and easy to change. So we might have a little bit of seed drop out, but we've dropped the pressure at the moment. So turning to locking nuts, we just twist this device and pull it out. So the first thing to look at is this disc. So this disc is changeable between different seed types, and you can just see the beet seed sat in behind there at the moment. It's all dropped at the bottom because of the air pressure's dropped out. So this air pressure coming down this pipe here, rather than sucking the beet to the seed, it blows the beet to the seed and holds it against there. Okay, on the top here, this device is to change the knocker off, as they call it, so to make sure that you don't have doubles, and also if it was too aggressive then you were knocking all the seed off, then it would you need to obviously slacken it back. You can just, if we look in through some of these holes, as I move it, it starts to cover up the holes so that obviously the knocking off device is getting more aggressive. And obviously different seed types we put in, we have to alter that to different. So we won't do it now because we'll lose the beet seed out, but you hold the disc tight and then twist on here, and then the disc would just come off. So that's so quick and easy to change between different seed types. This lever here is just the flat to how much flows out the hopper at any one time. So with the bigger maize seeds, you have it a lot further open. With the smaller beet seeds, we've got it sort of on number 2, as you can see there. This inside, so this is the cover. And quite a clever thing that we liked about it. So the first thing is to talk about this rubber wheel that's here. So that rubber wheel, which if we turn it round, would be above the outlet pipe. That stops the airflow. So rather than the beet being blown to the disc, it stops the airflow so the seed then drops down the pipe. And what quite clever, after the seed has dropped down the pipe here, running behind on a little spring, is a spoked wheel to make sure you get no seed stuck in the holes. So that's running along and poking in each hole as it's going along to make sure all the holes are cleared. It's always a problem with previous drills we've had that you'd suddenly have blocked up drills and you wouldn't blocked up holes and you wouldn't even know they'd been done. So really good device that. We got a spare one over here, that's all it's set for. So when you change the discs from, for example, from beet to maize, 2 things to change. This thing to come off really quickly, and then with a pair of pliers you squeeze this together, pull this one off, and you put a bigger one on, bigger spike spokes on it basically for doing the maize. So that's the main bit about seeding unit. So obviously 12 of these to change across the drill, but really nice and quick, simple change between them all. Obviously we've got back markers on either end. The one thing we are missing on this drill is that we have no pre-emergence markers. So at the moment we actually don't spray our beet pre-emergence, we only spray it post-emergence. But for customers it sounds a bit old-fashioned, but we just quickly run round with the tractor and just mark the first tram line so the spray man knows where to start and you can usually carry on from there. The big tower then in the middle of the drill, that's where the air is sucked in, and you can virtually follow it there as the camera's panning round. Follow it down. The fan is then in that big lump underneath that yellow dome, and then it blows down to each of the units then. The reasons it's up there and quite high is to get out of the dust. And you'll see when we're working, and part of the concerns about us losing seed dressings is this drill keeps all of that dust and air circulating the system, and the only time it discharges it straight down onto the ground. So you don't then have the dust that obviously could be the controversy of why we're losing some of the dressings off our seed. But there's drills like this, and there's a lot of other different makes are all doing the same thing. We're making sure that doesn't go in the atmosphere. So it's a hope that we shouldn't really lose the seed dressings we've certainly got now. The only 2 other things to talk about on that drill, that yellow dome at the top, it says e-services there. That's basically a router that belongs onto the drill. And then in the cab we've got an iPad controlling it all. 2 really good things about that in my eyes. One, you can bring that iPad out, and when we're doing the calibration, you have the iPad with you and calibrate each unit, nice and simple. Second thing is I wish more implements would go like that. I've got no great problem that if it came to it that I bought our staff an iPad each, they had an iPad in the cab and they open the app relevant to the machine on the back. It would save a lot of headache for the amount of different screens that we have to put in, but that's all reliant on manufacturers talking to each other, and everything actually starts to work together straight away. We've only done 1 modification onto this drill. We made the decision not to run on row crops because it is quite a heavy drill, and we obviously do quite a bit of road work running between customers. So we stayed with the tyres that we bought the tractors on, which is 710/70 R38s, but we obviously needed to take that wheel mark out. So actually using a Spalding's flat lift point and wing. We then got a local engineer to help us fabricate this wheel eradicator, basically, that's bolted to the front of the frame. The extra holes you can see on that front plate is that we initially designed that we could have spring like pigtail tines on instead, but we found this one big leg does the best work to take the wheel mark out. I think that's everything that's covered on the drill.
Thank you, Gareth.
All right.
Now you're going to see in this video as well the machine working outside, and then a bit later on in the video we're going to get in the cab and Gareth's going to explain a bit about the tractor and a bit about the iPad, what he just discussed about how the drill works as well on that system as well. So at the end of that clip, we were just going on about the iPad inside the tractor. So that's going to be in part 2, the follow-on video from this. So that's going to be up on the channel in the next week or so. So please look out for that. But from now to then, it's bye-bye from all of us. Bye-bye.